Oh, righty. I love Jam 2. I can't get enough of it. What's up, guys? What up, TJC Turtle? You watched TF1 last night? What did you think of it? I just got back from my showing of Transformers 1, and like an hour ago, hour and a half. There's a lot of different videos I can make in the coming months about this movie. And come to think of it, there's a lot of videos I haven't made about the past 7 Transformers movies that I could make, but I digress. Those will probably be coming someday. But man, what a movie. Transformers 1, guys. That was a great movie. Now, I don't want to say it's like what's the right wording here? You know, there were a lot of people online that were acting like it was like the greatest thing they've ever seen or whatever, or like the greatest thing that could possibly happen for Transformers. But like, I wouldn't say that, but it is pretty freaking great. I mean, if I were to rate it out of 10, I really don't like rating stuff. I've said this on the channel before, but I still do it anyway as like a general consensus for other people out there. If I were to rate it out of 10, I'd give it maybe like 8.5 out of 10, 8 out of 10, something like that. So yeah, it's a very fantastic movie. But I'm gonna be talking spoilers in this live, guys. So if you haven't seen the movie yet, you might want to click off this live. But if you have seen it, let's talk about it, guys. So there were a lot of characters in this movie and like the background. Like there were so many. I already knew it was gonna be like that. Ever since the movie was like conceived, I knew they were gonna do stuff like that, but actually seeing it and trying to digest it all is just insane. But I loved seeing some of the characters. I do wish we saw. Now it was my first showing in theaters, and you know, there's no pause button, there's no rewind button, so maybe I missed a lot of things when they were showing all these characters in the crowds. But I wish we saw more characters from like other continuities, because from what I saw, at least, what I was able to catch in terms of characters when they were panning to crowds or when it was a group shot or a group scene, it was mostly G1. You know, which that's fine and all. I love G1, but for us to be in this renaissance of, you know, remembering all the iterations of Transformers and putting them all together in this unified brand, it really didn't feel like they were trying to do that here with Transformers 1. But that would be like my only critique about the movie, and also that you know, it is PG. It's a kids movie. So I wasn't like going into it expecting like a super serious tone or story, which we did end up getting to an extent that I really wasn't expecting months ago or a year ago, 2 years ago when this movie was first announced. But I wished this movie was PG-13, so we would have gotten that more violent, in-depth look at certain things in the movie. But yeah, those are like my only 2 complaints, honestly. What are people saying here in the comments? That was my little yap session to open up this live. Hold up here. What are people saying? Oh man, shoot, I missed a lot of comments. Sorry guys. Why do my shoulders hurt? I have no idea, TJC. I'm not in your life, man. Let's go. Oh yeah, hell yeah, Philip. We're going. We're going. I am glad you can make it, bro. Chuba, however you pronounce that, sorry. TFM boy says he saw it and it was peak. Need more, damn it. I need more too. Cannot wait for the sequel. You don't got. Yeah, I laughed. I chuckled when Alita One said that. That was such a well timed and written little line and reference there. Thank you. Thank you, Noe or no. Sorry if I'm pronouncing your username wrong, dude, but I appreciate it. I'm a handsome man. Sadly enough, that does not translate to any females around me. Where y'all at? Seen it twice. Awesome, Choba. That's dope. I don't know if I'm going to see it again in theaters, though. A little story about my day and how I got to see this movie. I got it to see it for free because YouTube, they do these things when you're like monetized where and your channel is doing good. You get like these perks every once in a while. And one of the things they sent me was a free movie ticket to AMC, any movie of my choice at any time. So I just clicked on it and I chose Transformers 1 to go see today. So I saw the movie for free. I still had to pay tax though. $2 and change for tax, but whatever. Basically got a free movie ticket. So that was pretty cool. And I was hoping I didn't have to cancel seeing it today because I was starting to get a pretty bad headache earlier today. Like I had to go take a nap like 2 hours before my showtime. I was taking Tylenol right when I woke up, like 40 minutes before I had to go. And thankfully, right when I got to the theater, it started going away. And by the time I was settled into the movie, my headache went away. So that was great. So yeah. I didn't see the scene where they're all at the table and they get the message. Oh, you missed that? Why'd you miss it? Oh, really? They took that out for your viewing of the movie? That's weird. I did cover some of the leaks on this channel, so I did know that Primus was going to show up, but I didn't know it was going to be like the very first scene of the movie, so that was surprising. Yeah, you could definitely feel it a little bit, which kind of sucks, but it is what it is. Oh, okay. Good. Also love how Jazz was part of the movie with like 2 lines. Yeah, man, I was really excited to see Jazz. Like he was in like the first 10 minutes of the movie. I was really surprised by that. I obviously wish he had more of a role because you guys know me. He's like my favorite or one of my favorite characters of all time in Transformers. And I was a little like miffed at first when I saw him getting injured in the mines and getting his leg ripped off. Basically, I think his leg got ripped off. I can't remember. Maybe it was just injured. But I was like, man, are they? There was a thought in the back of my mind. I was like, are they really going to do this again with Jazz? I mean, thankfully that's as far as they went. But I mean, if you were going to do like an injured bot scene, maybe choose somebody else other than Jazz that has been known the last almost 20 years to be killed off in one of the biggest movies of all time. Like, I don't know. They could have chose a different character for that scene, but I'm just glad we saw Jazz in a movie again because it's been way too long, over 17 years. So hopefully in the second movie he has a bigger role. Hopefully he's like he's definitely not going to be Optimus' second in command in this iteration because that's already been given to Alita 1, I guess. But maybe the third in command or something. Like I just want him to have a high profile in the Autobot reign because we have not seen that in a while. I think they could have done these better. Alita 1 at the beginning because she just felt out of place in the main characters. Could have done more with Quintessons and yeah, I agree with that kind of. Alita 1, I don't know. I think she was all right in the movie. I didn't really feel that way, but I agree with the Quintessons. They kind of feel like they're setting it up for the sequel, kind of. I think they're going to be like a looming threat, kind of like how we have Unicron as a looming threat in the new live-action continuity right now. So I think that's what they're kind of going for. But who knows? They really could go any route with the Quintessons right now. And Megatron turning evil fast, I did notice that. Yeah, it was pretty fast. But the scenes how they handle that at the end with him shooting Orion like that, and him trying to save him but then changing his mind last second, that was actually a really well done, powerful scene in my opinion. Like that really that got me a little choked up actually. That was really well done to me. But yeah, it was. I think they could have, I don't know, added a few extra minutes of just playing around with the the duality in Megatron's head that's going on right now between, just being. I don't know if I want to say like an innocent type character, but like a character that's got a good heart to him, hard worker and stuff like that, how he was at the beginning of the movie. And then this new side of him that's starting to show more and more as the movie progresses. I think they should have gave that a few extra minutes of growth, but as is, I think it was still pretty well done. I'm going to TFCon about the Fractured Friendship 2-pack to get signed by Peely. Oh, nice. That's cool, man. Yeah, you did. Yeah. That was a really well done scene. I like that a lot. Jazz is one of my favorite characters. Yeah, man. Me too. I loved him ever since I saw him on the big screen back in 2007. Couldn't get enough of it. What do you think overall? I gave it earlier. I gave it a 8 to an 8.5 out of 10. That's my opinion on it. Hopefully, part 2 is the forming of the bots and cons and the start of the war, and part 3 is both factions leaving the planet. No humans or Unicron, please. Well, if they leave the planet, they probably are going to go to Earth. I mean, they obviously could veer off into a different direction, which if they do leave Cybertron, I hope to God they take a different route than them just like going to Earth again for the billionth time. But I don't know if I would want to leave. I don't know if I would want them to leave Cybertron, because we're already retreading so many of the same story points again in this movie. Even though it is well done, it's like, let's be honest here, guys. We're retreading the same origin story here for like the 30th time in 40 years, So I really hope in the sequels they kind of hone in on either sides of the franchise that haven't been explored as much, or just creating entirely new stories with these characters. I mean, obviously they're going to take inspiration from popular stories over the 40 years, which is fine. That's always going to happen. I don't mind that at all. But I just hope in the second movie it's not just all about, okay, we're going to take this popular storyline from this G1 piece of lore, from this IDW piece of lore, and just mash it all together to something that we've all seen a dozen times in Transformers lore, That's what I hope is a little different in the sequels. Leader 1 is going to have, obviously, the second in command because they're in Cybertron. Jez has it on Earth, so I don't see this high rank, at least not until we then get to Earth. I mean, I don't know. I think they could do it on Cybertron. I mean, it seems like they were already kind of trying to set up that relationship between Optimus and Jazz in this movie, with him saving Jazz at the beginning and Jazz kind of being the first one to go up to Optimus when he first gets back to the minor locker room and they all notice he's back. Jazz was the first one to go up to him, so I think they're already trying to put that seed into their relationship of, okay, Optimus really trusts Jazz. He sees him as a good bot, a good soldier, so he's going to put him in this high ranking in the Autobots, which I think makes sense because they're already trying to set that up in this movie, it seems like, to me at least. ANF is fair, I agree. Still space to improve, but a good showing. Yeah, man. I agree. Yep. I love how the Primes got a ton of screen time. I wouldn't say they got a ton of screen time, but, I don't know, just seeing the same story of the Primes. They all died. They all died in a noble fight. They died so many cycles ago. I wish they weren't dead I don't know what I'm trying to say, but like that ties into the whole same old story tropes, you know. Um but I did obviously like the inclusion of the 12 primes. They did get a decent amount of screen time. I wouldn't say they got a ton because they died, but yeah, they were decent in the movie. Alpha Trion was really cool though. I also love how we saw all the minor T cogs form at the Iron Eye Jazz. Yeah, I noticed Jazz. He looked really cool. He had the door wings like his G1 toy, and like his design on IDW. That was sick. And he also had the blue stripe and everything. He didn't have white on him. I don't know if you guys noticed that. Jazz was dark gray and blue, sort of like his IDW colors. And where else did he have that color scheme? I can't remember. It's kind of like, well, it is kind of like the movies and that animated deluxe repaint from back in the day. Yeah, I'd like to see more Jazz in the Prime. Yeah, me too. Yep. Yeah, that's true. Yep. What's your thoughts on Primus design? Yeah, I thought it was cool. I noticed right away, like it was basically just a copy and paste of the Unicron Trilogy Cybertron design. That was a figure that I've always loved since I was a little kid. So seeing that put into movie form for this animated movie was really cool to me. I liked it. Yeah, man, come on, Hasbro. Come on, where is it? How you view? What do you mean? Like, how do I view it as a rating or like ranking it with the movies? I'm not sure what you mean. What's your thoughts on Arachnid in the movie? She was cool. Her role was a bit different than what I was expecting, and honestly, kind of what I wanted. But it is a bit different, which I do commend them on. I really do like that. So I thought she was cool. It's not really the role I was expecting, which isn't really a bad thing. But I didn't really like gain an attachment to the character by the end, you know. And I can't remember, did she die at the end of the movie? I can't remember. I remember she got messed up really bad by the end, but I can't remember if they actually showed her dying. Need to if I've seen the movie, also what I mean about being. You know, I mean, it's obviously unique, you know, to with what we've been getting the last 17 years with live action stuff. We haven't gotten an animated Transformers movie in theaters in almost 40 years now. It's been 38 years. So that was really good in terms of that. And seeing the characters be the Transformers being the main theme. But I mean, that is a given when you do an animated movie, so it's not like something that's super shocking or like revolutionary to me because it is animated, it's not live action. Only I can hope for is that in live action, they just take notes from what really worked in this movie and they really push the CGI limits for the next one. Then I would think, wow, this is super different, you know. The robots have so much screen time, which we've been working towards gradually since Age of Extinction. But, you know, it is what it is. I only remember one confirmed death in the film other than Via Khan's. Yeah, Sentinel, right? Yeah, he was a cool villain. Yeah. The cargo train should have been rails. Yeah, that would have been cool. That would have been a cool reference. Pretty niche. That would have tied again into one of my critiques of the movie is bringing in more fresh ideas for this, you know. Who is Dreadwing's brother in the movie? You know the scene where Ryan gets caught. He's Dreadwind. W-I-N-D. Dreadwind. I honestly hope they stay on Earth for a while and then go to other planets. Oh, wait a minute. Before I answer your question, your comment, Choba, is it Dreadwind or is it because that's the G1 iterations. It's, to me, in the designs it seemed like it was more G2 inspired. So would it be Dreadwind or would it be a different character? I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure it is Dreadwind. They stay on Cybertron for a while and then go to other planets like Velocitron and the giant planet. Yeah, that would be really cool. Again, tying into, expanding into different areas of the franchise other than just G1 or Aligned Continuity or Evergreen, I don't think Arachnid died, just got offlined. Oh, okay, yeah. I see. Hey, thank you, bro. I appreciate it, Kristen. Kristen? Is it Christian or Kristen? What do you think of my display I sent? Oh yeah, that was dope, man. You saw my comment. I said that was dope. It looks like time traveling back to a Walmart in 2009. That was a cool display, dude. Darkwing and Dreadwing. Oh yes. Yep. So I was right then. Dreadwind. And then I think because of trademark reasons, Dreadwind got renamed in G2 to Dreadwing. I think that's what happened. Trying my best to not watch any spoilers before I watched it and was not expecting any sound. Yeah. I did cover some leaks on that on the channel like a few weeks ago, so I kind of was expecting that, but I didn't know how it was going to be implemented. I think it was really well done. Oh, yeah. I like how Sentinel's betrayal was completely different from Dark of the Moon. Yeah. It's obviously inspired by that, but they really did do something different. They put a nice spin to it, which I do appreciate it. Gotcha. Come to me one day, man. Also, don't matter how you say the name. Thank you, man. Yeah, I'd like to meet all you guys someday. It would be cool to go to like a convention and have like one big meetup with like all my subscribers one day. That would be really cool. I was planning on going to TFCon Orlando last year, but last minute I just really didn't like feel like doing it. I can't remember the reasoning, but I just didn't want to go at the time. And probably the next convention that's closest to me, I'll try and go. So make of that what you will, guys. Maybe you'll get a chance to meet me at a convention. Got to change the Darkwind because of Darkwind. Oh, okay. Did not see Sentinel's betrayal coming at all. Yeah, man. That was a good plot line. Baltimore, nah, that's too far away from me, honestly. I'm in Florida. I've only gone to BotCon. I'll probably go next year too. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, they brought BotCon back. It's not official anymore, but at least it's back for third-party stuff, which is cool, and just for the general community meetup, Hold on, I gotta sneeze. Booyah. Also, what's your thoughts on Soundwave design in Shitstorms 1? Yeah, that's a cool design. I don't really have a problem with it. It's the same Soundwave design we've been getting for the last 40 years, but, it's a cool design. Pretty iconic. What really surprised me is when he transformed, and it was the freaking Bumblebee Movie Studio Series figure alt mode. That was amazing. That was hilarious. I'm so glad they didn't go the privileged librarian route with Optimus. In my opinion, that origin is one of the worst Prime origins. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I liked him being like the underdog, loser, minor type. You know, I do kind of like the librarian story because not every iteration he's like privileged or like well off. You know, he's just a person that's curious about the history of Cybertron, which we also did get in this movie. They kind of merged the two different origins together of him being a miner and being a historian, because we did get that in this movie. After the movie, I went to Target and got SS49 Bumblebee, Cog, Changer Sentinel, and Core Nemesis for 21. Nice. I forgot they were running some sales on Transformers. I might have to go check out Target this weekend, see what they got. This is what I got on my desk tonight, guys. Kingdom Beast Wars Ravage, pretty underrated figure. And then for the Transformers 1 hype, I got the War for Cybertron game, Optimus and Megatron on the table tonight. I was looking at my collection after I went home from seeing the movie, and I just grabbed these two because of the movie, and I was like, this is the representation I got in my collection. And a little bit of randomness, but also because Starscream was a cool character in the movie, I got Legacy Starscream on the table. Great figure. Not perfect, but great figure. That's what I got on my table today, guys. Sentinel kidnapping Alphatron and Decepticons was unexpected. Oh, yeah. I did not know that was going to happen. That was a big surprise. Sentinel is fat. No. Yeah, man. Can you ask more questions? What do you mean? Like, what questions would I ask? Can't think of anything right now. My comic Straxus just came in the mail today in Comic Flame. Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah, I haven't gotten any of those comic figures. I kind of do want to get Straxus, but honestly, I'm holding out for a more less comic-y type repaint, something that's a bit more detailed. That'll just fit in with my general generations shelf. But I don't know. Maybe I will get that Straxus, because you never know when the repaint is going to come out. We still haven't gotten the repaint of Armada Ramjet. We still haven't gotten Cryotech from Transmetal 2 Megatron. There's so many obvious repaints that we're just sitting on. We're going on years now, and we still don't have, which is crazy to me. The representation I have is Fractured Friendship 2-pack. Oh, okay, nice. That's not bad. Kind of pissed Hasbro didn't release TF1 Megs when it's free, obvious. They already have them ready to release. Yeah, I thought he was already up by now. He's still up for pre-order? That sucks. Oh, no worries. Yeah, go for it, man. I don't care. That's what the live is for, to interact with my subscribers, Transformers fans alike. Do you do video reactions on stream? I haven't done that in a while. I mean, I could if you guys give me any recommendations. The comic paint looks way better in person. The Shockwave is 35, and it's the least impressive of the group so far. Grimlock is peak. Oh, okay. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I'll get Straxus. He's a character I really do like as a villain. But I don't know, just the colors, it's not my favorite version, you know? I want something a bit more detailed and not 80s comic book like, you know? But we'll see, I don't know. When I saw the first trailer, I thought this movie would be trash. Yeah, I wasn't too hyped for it, but I was pretty optimistic for it after I saw that trailer. I didn't think it looked bad. I love Armada so much. It's my favorite TF show, so I'm happy that we are getting Wheeljack and Red Alert. Yeah, definitely getting Wheeljack when he comes out in a few months. Definitely getting Red Alert when he comes out in a few months. I really want Armada Galvatron. Still got to get Tidal Wave, but honestly, guys, I'm waiting for a sale because those Titan figures always go on sale on deep discount, like $60 off or something. So I'm honestly waiting for those types of sales, which will probably be coming around Christmas time for Tidal Wave. So maybe once that sale drops, I'll bite the bullet and get Tidal Wave then. But I don't know. But I really do want Tidal Wave, Galvatron. I want all the Armada updates that Hasbro does, whether it's a repaint or not. I want the new Thundercracker coming out. So, yep. What is the chat saying? How do you think when Sentinel killed Alpha? That was pretty crazy, honestly, for a PG movie. I mean, they didn't show his head getting blown off, but just the way how he died was pretty violent, you know. Beacons watched my Starscream stop motion. Oh, that's cool. He's got some good animation. I really like his work. Oh, okay, I got you. Transformers Kid 2, RTF Mixmaster Review. Oh yeah, I used to watch him back in the day. Yeah. Yeah, I used to watch him all the time coming home from school. Already have Prime, Megs, Hotshot, and Tidal Wave with Wheeljack pre-ordered. Nice. I already have I have both versions of Hotshot, Armada Optimus, Megatron, Starscream, and yeah, just gotta wait for the other ones to drop. Oh, you got Tidal Wave. That's good. So I have the door closed in my room, right, guys? So my one cat is in my room, and the other cat is outside the door, and they're playing like peekaboo, or they're playing this game where the one in my room is looking at the edge of the door where there's the opening, right? And then the one on the outside is like putting its paw underneath, trying to like slap the cat in my room. So they're playing this like back and forth game of whack-a-mole, and I'm just watching them. Cats are so funny. I got my Tidal Wave for like, really? Where? What? When did I miss this? Was this like a used listing on Amazon, or was it brand new? Was it a brand new listing? Shoot, did I already miss a sale for Tidal Wave? Damn. How do you think when Sentinel killed Alpha? Oh yeah, I already got to that. I'm waiting for that Tidal Wave on sale as well. That's how I got Cybertron Metro. Yeah, I actually I got him right when he dropped for retail, so I didn't even wait for a sale back then for Metroplex. But I learned my lesson with that one, and I'm waiting for a sale with Tidal Wave, you know. But the Titan next year being Energon Optimus, that might be one that I just get right away, you know. Of course, that's not confirmed right now. That's the rumor that the Titan next year is Energon Optimus. But if that's the case, I probably would get that right away. Wouldn't be waiting months for no sale for an Energon Optimus update. Are you kidding me? Hell no. Mine when he got shot by Megatron and killed, and then oh yeah, that's true. Yeah. I started watching Armada, but I couldn't get past the first episode. I mean, you know, the shows back then aren't the best quality. It's just the fact that there's still so many interesting stories with the characters, you know. The story between Wheeljack and Hotshot, how Wheeljack went to the Decepticons and he's got that gashed Autobot logo on him. You know, the dynamic between Optimus and Megatron, very unique for their relationship post, you know, Autobot Decepticon war. And especially for the time, super unique. Seeing them actually have admiration and camaraderie for each other in terms of war and strength of one another was something we never really got to see in any other iterations at that time. So that was really interesting. And the dynamic between Megatron and Starscream, that was the most innovative part about the show. That's something that everybody still talks about over 20 years later till this day. People still make YouTube videos about it, theories, whatever. So there, it's not the best show, but it definitely did introduce some cool story elements that, to be honest with you, have been used ever since Armada introduced them. So it really is a show that inspired a lot of change for the franchise going forward. Also, what happened to Darkwing and Chips was one. Did he die? I don't think so. I didn't see him die. Term minors and the term is being... Yeah, that's true. I've seen that a few times. Yeah. What was I going to say? For the, I was going to bring this up, like, Optimus and Megatron, the way they kind of turn on each other, it's like, it's kind of in this way with Optimus or Orion at the time where it's like, I don't want to say it's like holier than thou on his part to just like start thinking Megatron is this weirdo, like he's so different, he's acting different, or D16, what's going on with you? Why are you acting like this? Like when he first finds out about Sentinel being a terrible bot, and he's like, I want to kill him, I want to do this, we should drag him across the minefields in Cybertron, stuff like that. And Optimus is looking at him like, why are you saying these things? What do you mean, why are you saying these things? You didn't hear and see what Sentinel did to 12 other Transformers? Like, Megatron's reaction at that moment was pretty valid, if you ask me. So there were moments where they were trying to put that seed of division between the two characters, which I get it, obviously it makes sense, but the way they were going about it makes Optimus seem a bit more like a holier than thou or like a goody two shoe when that's not really his character, kind of. That's why I like his characterization in Rise of the Beast, because he has edginess to him. He has emotion to him in terms of having also a dark side, which again goes back to what was introduced in Armada for the very first time in the franchise. Optimus had a bit of a dark side in that show. You did not see that in any other iteration. So I think that was a little meh to me, but yeah. Can the rifle from SS Elita 1 and 1 Bumblebee be given to SS1 Prime? I'm not sure, maybe. It's something to try, definitely. What are you doing back there? Get a load of this cat. Also, Primus, the plant Cybertron, also did he make those shards when I think that was that might have been Starscream's group trying to disrupt the trains, because remember when he was introduced, he was talking about how he's always trying to disrupt Sentinel's plans and mess up those trains. So I think that was from his group at the time. But that could have been Primus, I honestly have no idea. That's just my guess. I agree, while I do like Optimus in this movie, I feel like it was weird for Prime to tell him, don't be like Sentinel. That was out of line. Yeah, there were just some things that just felt forced. It just felt like they were trying to find reasons within the scenes to like make it more of a divide between Optimus and Megatron, when it just didn't seem justified on Optimus's part to act that way at times. But obviously by the end of the movie, Megatron goes, totally off the deep end. He gets the red eyes and he just goes crazy, beating up Bumblebee and Elita 1. So, I mean, towards the end of the movie, obviously that division in how Optimus is treating Megatron and how he thinks of him is justified. But before then, when we were leading up to that point, it really felt like it was forced at times, with the examples I mentioned, and just, Uh, you know, Megatron wanting to fight Sentinel and kill him, and I felt like Optimus was being too easy on Sentinel because he ripped out your T-Cog. He killed, by the time of the movie when he gets the Matrix, those are basically his ancestors or his brothers, kind of, in a way. So he basically killed your 12 brothers. So, and you don't want Megatron to beat him up or kill him? You want to give him mercy? I don't understand that. I'm not saying go like full on Megatron because this is Optimus Prime we're talking about. There is a certain level of innocence to the character, but it just felt like they were going a little too far with that innocence. And I felt like Optimus should have been a bit more understanding of Megatron's feelings in the beginning. And I think there should have been a scene or a couple scenes of them talking it out a bit more and Optimus showing a bit more consideration and affection towards how Megatron is feeling, because it is justified early on in the movie how Megatron is acting and feeling, because he looked up to Sentinel Prime his whole life, and he thought he was this perfect leader that could do no wrong, and he just had a good spark to him. But he finds out that is far from the truth. So it's honestly quite understandable his initial reactions, you know. And it seems like Optimus just completely brushed that off and was just so against it right off the bat instead of talking it out and being a bit more understanding of Megatron's feelings a bit. I just feel like that's what Optimus would have done, but instead it's more like subliminal between the two. We do get a couple moments where they go back and forth a little bit, but nothing to the point of, you know, what I think it should have been. Um, yeah, that's how I feel about that, at least. I saw Optimus pick up and use one of those rifles. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, I remember that. What do you think how those rifles look? I mean, they're cool. I don't mind them at all. All right. And one of my expectations, if you guys watched my expectation video a few days ago for Transformers 1, was, you know, Bumblebee's characterization being something that I liked. I do think Bumblebee was cool in this movie, but it's still not a level of character that I think makes Bumblebee worthy of a main character, you know. Um I still think in animated he was done the best. I mean, that is a Bumblebee that I genuinely love as a character, and how he was handled in the first 2007 movie. It was unique for the time. It was good, but obviously that wore off super fast by the second and third movie. So that's really it. And of course, G1, where he's first introduced. That's the blueprint for the character mostly. So, but other than those three iterations, it's like, man, did he really need to be a main character in this? Next gen game because of the wildlife and vegetation. Oh yeah. That's a good comparison. This movie honestly could have omitted B and not have been much different, but he did. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that's how I feel about him. What do you think of Starscream? Starscream was cool. I actually really like Starscream. How he got his classic G1 voice was absolutely genius, in my opinion. Megatron strangling his vocal cords. It also kind of made Starscream seem more like a psychopath in this scene, which I do like, because there is that sort of Joker type mentality with Starscream that I wish that we would get more often in Transformers iterations. where he's psychotic and he just has these crazy thoughts and feelings towards himself and Cybertron as a whole. And they really went into that when he was like, "Yes, hit me again. The pain, I love it." When he was acting like that when Megatron was attacking him, that really delved into the craziness of Starscream that I really do think we need to see more often in Transformers media going forward, because they really don't go with that a whole lot in modern iterations. I don't think we've gotten a good representation of that since Prime. So I'm really glad they started putting the seeds in for that in this movie with Starscream. So I thought his characterization in the scenes he was in was genius, and it really set up some nice elements going forward for him if and when they do a sequel. Not gonna lie, ROTB Optimus is alright. It's weird that Bayverse Optimus haters love ROTB Optimus, even though he has less of a reason to be edgy. I don't know. I think both iterations are justified, honestly. You know, Optimus is a living thing with emotion, just like every other character in this franchise. So to think he doesn't have bad thoughts in his head, or that duality of, oh, I want to kill this human, I want to kill this Decepticon for what he did to my Autobot brethren or sisters, you know, is just baloney to me. I think Optimus is a more relatable character when he is like that. I just feel like this holier than thou, completely innocent characterization that I wouldn't want to say they 100% tried to do here in one, but that was definitely the main inspiration for him here. I don't agree with that. I think they handled it a bit better in Armada. And that's something that we really haven't seen too often other than the live action movies. And I think we need to see that more, because it makes Optimus more of an interesting and dimensional character that way. Because, again, he's a living thing just like everybody else. He has emotions and thoughts running around in his head. So it would make sense, you know, but I don't know. That's just my opinion. Honestly, I was thinking Bumblebee was going to die in 4 and 5. Yeah, there were a lot of people speculating that back in the day when those movies were coming out. What's your top 3 favorite incarnations of Optimus? Got to go with animated, Unicron trilogy, and yeah. Oh, I got one more. Oh, shoot. What would be number 3? Oh. Huh. I want to say Bayverse, but I don't know. I'll go with Bayverse for now. That would be my top 3. Do you think the ending was rushed? Yeah, a little bit. I was talking about that a little while ago. I think D16's turn into Megatron towards the end was a bit rushed. You know, I feel like him changing his mind on saving Optimus was a bit too spur of the moment. But, you know, I don't know. It was, in that sense, how it was handled, him turning into Megatron, I think the ending was a bit rushed. But other than that, I think it was fine, the ending as is. The movie was pretty fast paced. It did not feel like an hour and 50 minutes, you know. Another thing that I didn't really like, I don't really understand it. Maybe you guys can explain it to me in the comments, but so all of them get the T-Cogs of a Prime, you know, for them to transform. So doesn't that mean Elita 1 and Bumblebee should have received like a mega power-up like Megatron did when he absorbed the T-Cog of Megatronus Prime? And doesn't that mean Optimus didn't really need the Matrix of Leadership to turn into his full potential like Megatron did? Like, that didn't really make sense to me. So Megatron gets his full, I guess you could say, uh, godlike matrix powers similar to Optimus just by absorbing the T-Cog of another prime, just like they did prior in the movie with Alita, Bumblebee, and Optimus as well. So I feel like that's a little bit of a plot hole that doesn't really make sense to me. So why did Optimus need the Matrix then if he already had the T-Cog of one of the 12 primes? You know, I thought that was a bit random. I feel like there should have been a different reasoning for Megatron to receive that final power up so he could face the Matrix bearing Optimus at the end of the movie. I think him just absorbing Megatronus Prime's T-Cog didn't really make sense because, again, they already had Prime T-Cogs the whole movie. The way how Cybertronians worship Sentinel is similar to how it is just close to real life. Yeah, that's true. Yep. Yeah, that was a pretty cool story beat that they did. Primus wanted justice. Megatron wanted vengeance. Different things. Optimus can see vengeance and Megatron not justice. Just requires due process. Vengeance is hate and anger. I mean, at the beginning, I just feel like it wasn't done to its full potential when we're talking about a 2-hour movie. So I get what you're saying, and I do agree by the end of the movie when Megatron is just going berserk, shooting up buildings and beating up Bumblebee and Alita 1 when they were there to help him since the beginning. But in the middle and the beginning, when Megatron was first starting to be conflicted with himself, I think it was justified. I mean, I was explaining this earlier in the live. I don't know if you were there, but he looked up to Sentinel Prime. He probably saw him as like a father figure. You know, he thought he was this amazing, perfect leader that could do no wrong. And he sees him betray all of his people. He sees him betray him. He lied to him. He killed the 12 primes. He wasn't even a prime to begin with. He tried to steal the Matrix. He's the main reason why the Matrix is disappeared and why Megatron is basically a slave in his current life in mining Energon days on end his whole life. He's the reason why he doesn't have a T-Cog when he was born with one. He ripped it out of him. So when you take all that to consideration, his initial reaction to things is justified. You know, that's a horrible thing to go through. And it being the Transformer that he looked up to the most, it is what it is for him. Yeah, but I wouldn't say it's just like Sentinel. Sentinel was just greedy. He just wanted the power of Cybertron. He wanted to get rid of the primes. He didn't want to take orders from them. He didn't want to be under the primes anymore. You don't get any of that with Megatron. He's just somebody who felt betrayed and felt like he needed to take matters into his own hands to bring Cybertron back to its glory. And in that moment, I'd say he was right. But obviously, by the end of the movie, he's wrong, the way of doing things. But fair point. I just think it could have came across way better. You think the death of Sentinel Prime was handled well? Yeah, I think it was cool. Yeah, I don't mind that. I think it was a good way of showing Megatron's final turn, even though I think Sentinel should have been killed. I mean, that dude. I mean, what was Optimus gonna do? Make him stand trial and whatever else? I don't know. I mean, Sentinel was just radical. He was just insane, and in a lot of ways, he was worse than Megatron right now. I mean, just think about all the terrible things he was doing to the planet. He made a deal with their arch enemies that want to kill all of them and take over the planet for themselves, just so he could have his own power on Cybertron, and he killed off all 12 primes. Like, that is insane. That is levels that I don't think Megatron has reached yet, which he probably is going to reach in a sequel or whatever, but not right now. Yeah, that would be cool. I would like that. I think being Alita being as good fighters as they were was because of the cogs they got. They'd probably be stronger than the bots that got cogs. Yeah, yeah, I could see that happening. That's fair. Yeah, I'd keep the 2007 film as number one too, honestly. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't argue that. In my opinion, I don't think so. I think the 2007 movie is still more iconic, but it's definitely up there. You might not agree with it, but the holier than thou personality reflects the G1 origins, the real personality of Optimus. I mean, was he like that in G1 even? I mean, obviously he was, he did have, I said this earlier, but no matter the iteration of Optimus, he needs to have that sense of innocence to him, yes, but I think to the point of him being depicted as someone who doesn't have bad thoughts or um, thinks differently of people who have bad thoughts in their heads. When, let's be real, I mean, everybody has a stupid thought that pops into their head or a bad thought, whatever you want to call it. So I just think him acting that way towards Megatron in the beginning again is just not justified. I think they should have talked it out more instead of them just creating that immediate division. Honestly, it did seem like Megatron had more faith in Sentinel than Ryan did, which would explain why he feels more betrayed personally. Yep, yeah, exactly. I mean, Megatron was glazing Sentinel in the beginning. I mean, he was on him. Human Optimus wasn't a perfect goody two shoes. Yeah, no, he wasn't. You know, I mean, he had his own fair share of mistakes, and obviously they didn't go too in depth in that like they did in Animated or Armada. But I don't think he wasn't really supposed to be this perfect transformer. You know. Because Megatronus Cog, according to this movie, Megatronus was the most powerful of the primes. Really? Was he? I don't remember them saying that. I remember them saying he was the coolest of the primes, but I don't remember them saying he was the most powerful. Huh. I think it had to be on purpose that Jazz got saved, but Meg still got her. Yeah, I was. That's what I was thinking. Yeah, I thought that exactly too. Oh man. Yeah, I mean, it's not it's not a perfect movie. Obviously, I have issues with it, but you know, I think it's definitely a good movie. It's a great Transformers movie. You know, I think it deserves the praise it's getting, regardless of the issues with it or the issues that I personally have with it. You know. Do you think the jokes were funny? Yeah, I thought a lot of them landed. I didn't mind any of the jokes, honestly. After this movie, I'm afraid it goes downhill to the G.I. Joe crossover. I mean, I want to say I have faith in it, but the way Lorenzo's talking and the way the development seems to be going, I honestly am not surprised if this movie is a dumpster fire. So who knows? We're going to have to wait and see in the next few years. In G1, he was more of a dad figure, but 80s writing didn't have to be that deep back then. Yeah, that's true, yeah. I hope they scrap the crossover and just focus on these films. I mean, I think a G.I. Joe and Transformers crossover live action movie could be good. I just think it seems like behind the scenes they're just not handling things the right way for whatever reason. I don't know why, but you know, I think it could be good. They just need to just stop being stupid. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes. It's just ridiculous. Megatron just pulled a DP2 Juggernaut and did, yeah, yeah, man, yeah. Is right. They stayed Megatron. Oh, okay. I missed that. All I remember is hearing that he was the coolest out of them all. Okay, all right. So that makes sense then. All right. What makes Bayverse Optimus my favorite Optimus is that we see him as his absolute worst, and even after losing everything, he doesn't completely lose himself, hating all humans. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Yeah. What do you think of the Iacon 5000 race? I thought it was a cool sequence. I wish it would have been cool if it was a little bit longer or a little like more action packed or whatever. But yeah, it was a cool sequence. I liked it. I think seeing all the characters, that's definitely going to be a scene that once this comes out in streaming or DVD, that people are going to be pausing and analyzing for months on end, finding all the different characters and references. I did see a few in there. There was Override. There was, I think, some of the aerial bots in there. There was some of the G2 laser cycles I remember. So that was pretty cool. G.I. Joe should get some build up on its own first, make a couple of, and they get the things. Yeah, that's not a bad idea, but I think with how G.I. Joe is going for the movies right now, they absolutely blew Snake Eyes a few years ago. That could have been a good starting point, but they absolutely ruined that. And it's not like the two movies before it, 10 years prior, were like box office hits either. So I think it's a good idea to introduce it with Transformers, a franchise that has been far more successful in theaters. But it's just all about how this movie turns out. They can make a good G.I. Joe and Transformers crossover right now. It's just all depending on how competent they are in the development and writing stages. And it doesn't seem like they are right now from the updates that Lorenzo is getting, because it seems like they're still in early stages of writing when they've had close to a year and a half of time. So I don't know what's going on. Hey, what up, Chilba? Glad you're back, man. So I said successful movies, but I get your point too. Oh, okay, I got you. Do you think of Alpha Tron's animal form? It was cool. I liked it. It definitely reminded me of his Titans Return Voyager class figure. So yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. But yeah, other than that, I mean, it's still a great movie, regardless of some of the complaints I have, you know. I honestly don't know how would they, when would a second movie come out, honestly? Like, what would be the time frame of development? Like, are they trying to fast track it right now, or are they going to wait until they see the final box office results a couple months from now, or what? Because it seems like they really are liking the critical reception of this movie. So it seems like just basing it off of that alone, they'd want to fast track a sequel from how people at Paramount are reacting to the positive reception of the movie. But I don't know. Money obviously rules all when it comes to making movies. So maybe they're waiting for that. Who knows? Did you think Bumblebee was annoying? Yeah, I mean, I don't think so. I think his talking too much was done well as being a part of his character. It just wasn't something that I cared about. It just didn't hit me the way animated Bumblebee did. I think they did that type of Bumblebee better, where he's like this talkative, dorky, but also kind of trying to be cool type young Autobot. I think they still did that way better in animated. 4 years since it's animated? Maybe. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it could be 2 years. Because it was announced in, what was it, 2021, 2020? So, I mean, yeah, it could be 4 years, 2028. I could see that. But I don't know. Maybe they want to fast track it, especially if it does really well at the box office. But if it doesn't do well at the box office, then it probably is going to be 4 years or a little longer for a sequel, which would really suck. That's why this movie has to do really well at the box office, because sometimes I get comments when I'm talking about the box office on my videos like, why are you worrying about the box office? It's all about whether or not the movie is good or not and you enjoy it. That's true, but it still needs to make money in order for us to get more Transformers content and more Transformers movies, and for this franchise to be successful, and for it not to become He-Man or G.I. Joe however many years from now. Like, it's important these movies sell well for the longevity of the brand. Like, think about it this way. Do you want Transformers to last another 40 years or longer? Then this movie and future movies have to do good. They have to make money. They have to make good box office numbers and profit for Paramount. You know, that's just how it is. So, you know, I think talking about the box office matters, because it's about, you know, whether or not we still have a future of this franchise. Do you think the sequel will focus on the War for Cybertron? Oh, definitely, yeah. That's what it's building up to, yeah. Certified StreamYard moment. Yeah, I hope this movie does good at the box office. I saw somewhere, I think the math is that it needs to make like 150 million to be considered a success, or like I think a break-even point for Paramount. Because this movie has, I think it's between 50 and 70 million of a budget. So it's basically got to make more than double that to be a success. So fingers crossed people go out and see this movie. Honestly, with how bad TLK was, looking back on it, they had to want that movie to fail, but hopefully TF1 does well. Yeah. I don't think they wanted it to fail because of how bad it was. I mean, when you invest in a movie and you spend all those years making a movie, you still want it to sell well, regardless of the quality of it. But yeah, that changed things forever. You know, that movie really set the tone for the movies we're getting now for Transformers, and basically those types of movies going forward in general, all aboard, all across Hollywood. You know, with Marvel and DC and everything. That movie failing was a big talk in Hollywood for a while that year. Because, I mean, this is Transformers. This is one of the highest selling franchises of all time when it comes to movies and theaters. So, is there an ant on my leg? Oh, yeah, there was an ant on my leg. What was I saying? So, to see that big fall from grace with TLK was really shocking at the time. And it really scared the industry in a way, and I think so. It was a crazy time when that movie failed. Do you think we should have saw more of Megatron Optimus Prime in their true form? I mean, you know, it was a setup for the sequel, so I think it got the screen time it needed. But you know, it would have been cool to see more. But I think as is, it was fine. I don't really mind. Are you going to meet any of the Transformers YouTubers out there? I don't know. Maybe. I'm open to it. There's a lot out there that I watch, or that I've watched for many years since I was a little kid back in the 2000s. So yeah, I'm down for it. But I haven't met anybody on YouTube. Oh wait, no, yeah. I've talked to JJ Prime. I'm cool with him. I've talked to Patriot Prime a couple times on Facebook. He's all right. He's cool. I'm trying to think of who else that does YouTube that I've talked to. That's about it. I don't really talk to a lot of, you know, other like people within the fandom that has a big following on YouTube. I don't really seek that out too much. not that I don't want to meet anybody. It's just something that just doesn't happen naturally. I want it to happen naturally where I meet these creators or team up with them or whatever. So yeah, I'm open to it, you know. I was Beast Wars Inferno on your yeah, that's funny. Do you think D16 should have actually chilled on his revenge for Sentinel? Towards the ending, it was definitely he went bonkers. He crossed the line. But in the beginning, like I said a few times earlier, I mean, I think it was justified. You know, it's somebody who he looked up to ruined his life and his livelihood in his home planet, basically. So it makes sense, you know. Primus the creator lives in Florida, so does TJ. Yeah, I've seen them before. Yeah, I knew that. Yeah, they're cool. I love watching TJ. He's one of my favorite YouTubers for Transformers and just in general for YouTube to watch. Like there was a time for like 2-3 years straight from like 2021 till like earlier this year, last year, where he was like my top 3 YouTubers that I just watched every day, basically. So I really do like TJ Omega. I would really like to do something with him sometime. I liked how they showed why Starscream had. Yeah. I was talking about that earlier. I really do like how they interjected that into Starscream's story in this movie. But I'm gonna be on here for a few more minutes. Probably like another 5 or so minutes, and then I'm gonna head off. So while you still can, guys, leave those comments below. Next TFCon, that's in Orlando. Would love to meet you. I met a lot of creators in LA last year. Oh, nice, cool. Yeah, that'd be cool, man. I don't know when the next Orlando con is gonna be, because I don't know how much longer I'm gonna be living in Florida. You never know what could happen, but yeah, if things align and I go to Orlando Comic Con, I'd love to meet you, man. What did Optimus think he was going to do with Sentinel? You mean like what Megatron was going to do to Sentinel? What Optimus thought Megatron was going to do to him? If you're talking about that, I don't know. I mean, obviously it seemed like he was going to kill him, but like, I mean, yeah, I guess he just thought he was going to kill him, which again, I think is justified. Sentinel is a psychopath. He was not looking out for the good of all Cybertronians. I mean, this is the dude that killed a dozen primes. Think about that. He killed a dozen primes just so he could be a fake prime, lead Cybertron, make a deal with Quintessons, which is probably the worst alien race in the galaxy. It's just insane to me. So honestly, I think Sentinel should be killed, but you know, he's just too. It's like what Mace Windu said in Revenge of the Sith. For all my Star Wars fans in this live, he's too dangerous to be kept alive. That's how I feel about Sentinel Prime in this movie. You know, like what Mace Windu said about Darth Sidious to Anakin. He's too dangerous to be kept alive. That's how I feel about Sentinel. But obviously, how Megatron got to at the end after killing Sentinel was completely wrong. Destroying all those structures and trying to kill Elita 1 and Bumblebee, that was just insane. Hopefully, if we do get a third movie, Optimus and Megatron can be cool with each other again. I mean, maybe that could happen. They're definitely showing that more and more lately, which is really cool. I like that storyline. Yeah. Yeah, he's a psychopath in this movie. Sentinel is... Yeah, that is a bit of a plot hole, you know? Megatron, as soon as he wanted to let go of Optimus, his eyes turned red, and Sentinel, who's arguably done a lot worse things than Megatron at this point in time, his eyes are still blue, which is weird. I don't know, maybe there was something in the programming where he could keep his eyes blue because he is responsible for the miners not having TCOGs. So maybe he took it a step further and wanted to keep his eyes blue. He did something in his system and processors to keep them blue. That's my own little headcanon. Obviously, that wasn't explained in the movie, but that's how I think of it, at least. But yeah, guys, I think I'm gonna. Oh, we got another comment. Hold on. Honestly, it seems like writers don't really know how to justify a character not wanting a villain to die. It always comes off forced. Yeah, in recent times, there is a lot of that, like trying to I don't know, like it's just weird how they do things nowadays sometimes. But yeah, I agree, you know. But yeah, guys, I think I'm gonna log off for now. I don't know why Arachnids was Sentinel instead of Megatron. Yeah, it's true, but it was something a bit different for her, which I do like. But yeah, guys, I think I'm gonna go for now. I'll go live again tomorrow night, so stay tuned for that tomorrow, and I'll probably go live again Sunday as well. So yeah, guys, I appreciate to everybody who stuck around for this live. I really enjoyed talking to you guys about Transformers One opening day. First time seeing it today, so yeah, it was fun. But yeah, guys, thank you for sticking around, and I'll catch y'all in the next live. Bye.